Deutsche Welle correspondent Hans Brandt joins us now from Berlin. Hans, Denmark is both EU and NATO territory. Do European leaders really need to be concerned here?
Yes, I think they do need to be concerned. It's clear that Trump is ratcheting up the pressure also on Greenland, and in the light of the US intervention in Venezuela recently, it seems very clear that Trump is determined to push through his plans against any kind of resistance, including resistance from allies such as those within NATO and the European Union. Obviously, Greenland is part of Denmark, but it is closer to the United States. It has a complicated history with Denmark. So the issue is not quite as clear as if it concerned a territory right here in the continent of Europe, but it is a European territory by legal matters, by legal treaties, and these are treaties that Trump, strictly speaking, would have to respect. At the same time, some of his spokespeople have recently said that a military intervention cannot be excluded in Greenland, that the United States has every right to take Greenland, to make it its property, to put it under its control, mainly for strategic reasons, they say, because of rivalry in the Arctic region with China and with Russia, but probably also for reasons of natural resources that are suspected to be available in Greenland, such as rare earths and things like that. So it's both a strategic and possibly also, in Trump terms, a business deal that is concerned here.
And have we been seeing European leaders come out in defence of Greenland?
Yes, indeed they have. While the reaction here in Europe on what happened in Venezuela was quite reticent and there was not explicit condemnation of that intervention, as far as Greenland is concerned, we've had a fairly unusual statement from European leaders just yesterday, just 24 hours ago or so, where top leaders from the European Union, including Chancellor Merz of Germany, joined Denmark in stressing that any discussion about Greenland should be based on international law, on the respect of international borders, on the respect of territory, on international treaties, and should be resolved within the ambit of what Denmark and the people of Greenland decide, and not what United States and Washington decide. But of course, the relationship, as I've mentioned, with the people of Greenland, between Denmark and the people of Greenland, is a complicated one. Greenland basically is a colony that Denmark has been controlling for hundreds of years, and people in Greenland, of which there are less than 100,000, are not completely at ease with control by Denmark. So attempts by the United States to persuade the people of Greenland to join, as it were, the United States side in this dispute are not entirely for nothing, I think. So it's a complicated relationship, but the European Union leaders have said that they will stand by Denmark and the control of Greenland by Denmark.
And if the US did invade Greenland, what would that mean for NATO? The Danish Prime Minister seems to think that it could be the end of NATO.
Yes, indeed. It's a really, really threatening situation for NATO, especially in the light of the fact that tensions between the United States and its European partners and other partners within the NATO alliance, that includes Canada, for instance, have been rising for years, and especially since Donald Trump took office again, he's been putting a lot of pressure on partners within NATO to take over more of the responsibility for NATO. So if he is prepared to, how shall I say, attack or threaten the territory of a NATO ally, that really puts into question that whole treaty, that whole promise by NATO allies to protect each other and to defend each other's territory. It's something that's really inconceivable, frankly. I think what might be possible is to resolve the situation within the ambit of NATO. For instance, to say that within the NATO alliance, the defense and the control of Greenland will be mainly given to the United States, but that the other NATO allies will continue to have a major say in that. That would be a diplomatic solution, but it's not something that Donald Trump seems to be looking at the moment.
Deutsche Welle correspondent Hans Brandt in Berlin, thank you.